Hey guys, happy Friday. Welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to do a fun challenge to try and get through more of my physical TBR. I feel like recently I've just been trying to do a lot of challenges and different things that can help me get through the books that I have on my shelves that I haven't read yet. Whether it's like, I don't know, this challenge, I have a few other ones in mind, and just like finishing series that I've read like I did a couple weeks ago. But yeah, I'm just trying to get through books that I have, and I'm trying to tell myself that if I get through like a fair number of them, then for my birthday I can reward myself with like buying a fair number of new books to add to my physical TBR. But I'm really trying to not buy books that, I don't know, I don't plan on reading right away, just because I do have a ton on my shelves that I haven't read. I am going to go on my Goodreads and find my lowest rated book and my highest rated book, and I want to read those and kind of form my own opinion on them and see if I agree with the either low rating or high rating on them. I'm going to start by reading the lowest rated one, I think, because then if I don't like it, at least I'll have like a book that a lot of people loved to look forward to, rather than like if I really like a book, I feel like I don't want to go to a book that I know might not be that great. I've already created a shelf that has my entire physical TBR on there. Every time I buy a book, I put it on this shelf. So I have 148 on this shelf, and I'm going to sort them by average rating. My lowest rated one is the fourth book in a series that I haven't started, so I don't want to read a full series, but my lowest rating standalone is The Fury by Alex Michaelides. And this actually surprises me a little bit because I read The Maidens and The Silent Patient by him, and I really enjoyed both of them. I like The Silent Patient more than The Maidens. The Fury has an average rating of 3.38. So it's still not a bad rating by any means, and I feel like for that to be one of the lowest ones on my like want to read list and on my bookshelves, because every single one of my books, like I said, is on that bookshelf. Even if it's not necessarily in my priority, I still put it on there so that it's included. But that's not bad at all that it's over 3 stars, and honestly fairly close to a 3.5. So the only thing that's disappointing is because I love The Silent Patient so much that I bought this book when it came out with Book of the Month, and I was so excited about it because I liked his other books, and I don't know, I feel like I didn't really hear much about this when it came out. I am going to start reading this one, and then I'll look at what the highest rated one is after I'm done reading this, and we will pick that one up right after I finish this book. So I just got to page 31, chapter 6, and so far it's kind of taking a little bit to get into it. It's kind of written in a weird way because the main character, or the narrator, is like a primary character in the book, and it's like, instead of being written in like the third person, it's written in like his recount of it. Like he's recalling what had happened. The narrator is like a screenwriter, and I feel like the way it's written is kind of like a screenwriter. Like it's written in kind of like a weird, I don't know, it's just kind of the way things are phrased is kind of weird to me, and very like, I don't know, it kind of reminds me of trying to read like Old English, like classic books, where it's kind of like the phrases and the way the sentences are structured is a little bit odd. Like, it's trying to be more sophisticated, I think, which is not what I necessarily was expecting. So I'm on chapter 18 now, page 81, and I'm definitely getting more intrigued by it. It's definitely a little bit strange because, like, we're kind of getting to know the characters, and it said at the beginning, like, it's not a whodunit, which I feel like the way it's being, like, initially brought up makes it seem like it's gonna be a whodunit, but I guess it's not. But the writing I'm definitely getting more used to, and, like, thinking back now and remembering the silent patient and the maidens, it's written in the same way, and it's that it's a, like, more psychological writing, and so it's written definitely more sophisticated and more from, like, a psychological standpoint than, like, your standard whodunit mystery thriller. Now that I've, like, allowed that to, like, kind of process in my head that that's how it's written, I'm definitely enjoying it more, but I could see where some people could really dislike that, and it's definitely not for everyone. I am a significant ways through the book. I'd say probably about 2/3 of the way through. I'm on page 205. So I have less than 100 pages, and I feel like now that I've kind of switched my mindset into the type of writing that this book is, I'm enjoying it a lot more than I did at first, but it's still, I don't know, I don't love the writing style. I like what's going on in the story, but I don't know, I feel like it's not that it's, like, it's a sophisticated form of writing, and that's the best way I can describe it. And so since the narrator is, like, a playwright, it's kind of not necessarily Shakespearean, but you can tell that it's a playwright, and I don't necessarily love when it jumps back to, like, being in his thoughts. He'll say something, and then it'll kind of be like, actually, that wasn't the truth. This is what actually happened, and I don't know, I just don't necessarily love that, and I like that it adds something different, but I don't know, it's just not quite the writing style for me compared to the other ones. Like, I know it's definitely, like, an unreliable narrator situation. Like I said, I'm still enjoying the actual storyline and the plot of the book, and I don't know, because it's narrated by one of the characters, it's definitely making certain characters very unlikable. So I finished reading The Fury now. I'm not sure exactly how I feel about it. I think it was my favorite book by this author? No. Did I hate the book? No. I feel like it's very much right in the middle, so I think I am gonna go with a 3-star on this book, which, for being, like, the lowest rated on my Goodreads, I think a 3-star is pretty good. I liked it. Like I said before, it was just some of, like, the way it was written with the narration. I'm not sure how I felt about that. I somewhat guessed some of the twists that were going to happen in here, so that kind of lowered it as well. So I don't know, I'm torn between, like, a 2.5 and a 2, like a 3 is like a 2.75, maybe just below 3. Only because, I don't know, I feel like I'm still trying to figure out exactly my scale, because I feel like I give so many books like 3 and 4 stars. Like, I don't think I would recommend this one. I would recommend his other books first. And I don't know, I feel like if people were like, oh, I really like The Silent Patient, do you think I would like this? Probably. But do I think you'd like it as much as The Silent Patient? Probably not. But that being said, I'm really, really excited for the next read. And not just because it's my highest rated on there, but because I have already looked at what it was. And I was going to read it soon anyway, so I kind of just bumped it up my TBR a tiny bit. And my number 1 rated book is Fourth Wing. So it has a 4.58. So that means I feel like a lot of people rate it 4 stars, a lot of people rate it 5 stars. I've heard so many good things about it. I still don't know how I haven't read Fourth Wing yet, but somehow I've made it, what, like 2 years now. I haven't read the book yet. But I have this, I have the second one already, and I'm gonna just read them back to back. I've been super excited for them. I guess it's only been like a year. This was published in May of 2023. I thought it was earlier than that for some reason. I am really, really looking forward to starting this book and seeing what all the hype is about and if I think it is as good as everyone else does. So let's get reading. So it's been a little bit since I last talked about Fourth Wing, but I am just past halfway now. I am on page 322, chapter 26. I read a lot of it this weekend while I was on call because I was just kind of hanging out waiting to be called in. So I think I read close to 100 pages on Sunday. So far I am really, really enjoying this book. I think there's enough like small things going on, but I'm also just loving the world so much that I am loving all like the day-to-day happenings as well. But there's enough like little events happening as well as like some of like the larger, like more key events. And so I'm really, really enjoying this book so far, and I can tell why so many people love this book and how it grew to be like a lot of people's like favorite fantasy last year. I worry a lot of times with fantasy books that they start off slow and then sometimes even like the whole first book is pretty slow and then it ramps up from there. This one kind of jumped us right into what was happening and like her making her way through all like the trials and tribulations of going through the Rider's Quadrant, and like things just keep happening. It's not like this book was just her getting to the point of getting her dragon. Like this encompasses so much more than just that. I'm really enjoying the characters as well as the relationships in here. Like I feel like so far there's only like tiny little bits of like romance to it, which I enjoy. I like that there's more of like friendships being grown throughout this, and how like the group that has been going through school together has become so close. I did in fact not finish this book today like I originally planned. I really didn't read that much at all today. I'm gonna read a little bit more before I go to sleep, but I only read like 50 pages, so I still have like just under 150 pages left of the book, and I just wasn't in a reading mood. Like I said, I read like 100 pages on Sunday, and I don't know, I just wanted to do other things today. It is like midnight right now, and I just finished reading Fourth Wing, and I absolutely loved it. I, like, without a doubt, this was a 5-star book for me. I absolutely understand why so many people love this series, and I'm definitely upset that I didn't read this before, because this has been, like, honestly at the top of my TBR list for over a year now, and I don't know, I just kept holding off in case I didn't love it. I'm so excited to start the second one. I'm definitely going to jump right into it, which, I mean, I guess that's the one benefit, is I don't have to wait for book 2 to come out. I just get to start it right away. The relationship between Xaden and Violet, I love how complex it is. I think the only thing I didn't necessarily love was how often they talked about how small and frail and fragile Violet was, because at a certain point it was kind of like, okay, we get it. I think one of my favorite parts about Violet was that she never let that hold her back, and she knew that she had to work harder and find like different ways to do things. I absolutely see why everyone loved it, why everyone rated it so high, especially when this is the first book of the series and it was this good. And I hope that the rest of the series can stand up to this one and that it doesn't just like, I don't know, I've heard a few people say that the second one was a little bit disappointing, I believe, but I don't know, honestly I felt that way about Powerless, that the second one was a little bit disappointing, but I'm trusting the process. And even if that one's disappointing, like, I think I heard that there's supposed to be 5 books in this series, so there's a lot of time for a comeback. Like, there's gonna be books that are gonna be a little bit more information based, or maybe not your favorites. Like, not every single book in a series can be the best book in the series. Like, there's gonna be some that are better than others. I think the one thing that I went back and forth between if I liked it and if I didn't, and that's that at the start of, I think every chapter they have like a little like quote from different places, whether it was from like a letter to Violet or like between people or from the codex for the Writer's Quadrant. But sometimes I feel like those little quotes almost gave away what happened in the chapter, because it kind of related to either what had just happened or what was going to happen. And if it was about what just happened, that's fine, because obviously I'd already read it. But that is going to be it for this video. So I read the highest rated and the lowest rated books on my physical TBR, and I don't know, I definitely had to agree with their ratings. I absolutely love Fourth Wing. And I wouldn't say that I didn't like The Fury, but in comparison, it's just kind of fell a little flat. I don't know, that's definitely something that was pleasantly surprised about, was that even my lowest rated book, according to other people, wasn't a bad book. So that gives me high hopes for the rest of my TBR, because, I don't know, not that the Goodreads ratings, like, are the end all of a book, but I feel like they can kind of give you an idea on a book. So if you're kind of unsure, I feel like it's a good way to determine like to whether or not you want to buy a book. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a lot of fun to make, and I'll probably do it again, whether it's like using different sorting filters on Goodreads to determine it, or I'll probably make this exact video again, because obviously these books are now off of my physical TBR, so there's going to be different highest and lowest rated books. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I post every single Friday, and I'm really excited for next week because I'm going to be posting my like overall fall TBR, and I don't know, I'm just so ready for fall. I'm in such a fantasy mood and just embracing all of the fall atmosphere. I am pinning so many fall outfits on my Pinterest. Like, I am just ready for all the reading that comes along with fall for me as well. So if you guys are interested in that video, definitely come back next week, and I will see you guys then. Bye.